My name is Kelly Makuch. I have been fusing glass since probably 98 or 99, instigated by my friend Alyssa Oxley. We raised children together. I live in Newtown, Connecticut. December 14th, 2012 changed our town, our lives, and still has effect on us, as you can imagine. We became known as the town with the deadliest shooting in American history for the high school and grade school levels. My son, who was at the high school, he thought he was passing that day. I was upstairs in our hallway with a chore that I hadn't gotten to, which was hanging his senior portrait. And as I was holding it, I got the phone call from the school district. And then they just said that there was a shooting or an incident. I don't really remember the words exactly, but I remember her voice so haunting that it was something really terrible. And I looked at my husband, and he was whiter than a ghost, and he said, David called and left a goodbye message on my cell phone. So he was in a classroom where there was a couple other seniors. They didn't have an intercom system that they could really hear, so they were under the impression that the attack was at their school. So he called us to say goodbye and tell us he loved us. So that for hours we didn't know where it was. Yeah, so he hid in a closet for over 3 hours. Luckily he was survived, but there was a lot of guilt associated, in processing, as many people do in that situation. Why are we not, affected? And, so many friends and lost people that they knew. So it was very difficult, not the best of times. I do know that I came to my studio often, and part of the reason was to get away from the news, which became a real problem. And I retreated to my studio, as I said, and just really kind of focused my energy and used it as a distraction from, like I said, the news. Was really I found solace in glass, in moving it around and cutting it. I found it was my shield. I had this realization that breaking glass and arranging it to fuse it together was a really powerful and valuable process, and that it could heal. It really could heal us if I brought it to our townspeople. And I have to say that glass is probably the perfect medium for symbolizing the grief process that we were going through. We were really broken. Fragments of ourselves. And with that, when you take a piece of glass and you put it together and heat it, and I think of heat as the love, and you bring it back to one solid piece, there's no better symbolism than the medium of glass to really symbolize what our town needed. We needed healing. I offered the classes to our townspeople, first and foremost, first responders, teachers, clergymen, florists in town, just everybody that might have been affected, teachers that may not live in town but work here. I had probably close to 100 people come through. The first project was just a little animal, just to practice cutting. As they became more comfortable with what they were doing, as they became more relaxed, you could see them cutting glass and really becoming more decompressed. People had said that it was just so comfortable here to have this venue and to be able to talk amongst people that really understood, and to be able to do something physical to kind of express what they were feeling. One person said, and I'm going to cry when I say this because I know I will, she looked down at her project and she said to me, look at this glass. It's me, and I'm putting me back together again. And she said, thank you, Kelly. And it was everything I wanted. the session to be. Just all in her statement was just perfectly poignant, you know? It was perfect. So she came back a few times, a few years in a row, and then once just to play, which was fabulous, that she was in a good place. What's so healing about glass is that it's sharp and can cut, can be frightening and intimidating to work with, but learning how to handle it and creating unique and beautiful pieces is really empowering.